So in React, we know everything is a component. So that's what this basic ideology will implement in our UI as well. So I'm thinking of two basic components that we need to develop for our chat page. So one is basically a sidebar where we'll list all the users, and in the right side we'll display the chat of the user. So user can select from the sidebar with whom they want to chat, and those exact chat will pop up in the right side of the screen. So this is our basic layout, what we are thinking. So very first thing is we need to create few components. So we'll head back to our project, and inside a components, we'll introduce another file called sidebar.js, and one more file. I'm gonna name this chat area.js. Then in our sidebar, for now, we'll simply return a div with a class name as sidebar, and this will basically return nothing. So this is our sidebar. We'll style this later on, but for now we are interested in the chat area and those sort of things. And another, let me just uh, now our another component is the chat area. So let me just write functional based component, and in this also we'll return this div. Let's give it a class name of chat area, because these are the class we'll use in our CSS to style them. Then inside this div, we'll give another div with a class name of chat header. So basically this will be the header where we'll show whether the user name and user online status and all these things. Then after this div, we'll create another div for chat messages itself. So I'll give a class name of messages, and here we'll render another component. So like, for example, our messages or our message list can have number of messages, right? And these messages can be sent or received messages. So like a traditional UI traditional chat UI, what we'll do, we'll keep sent messages on the right side and the received messages on the left side. So that means the message that you sent will be on the right side, and the message that I received will be on the left side. So for this, we'll create another component called, I'm gonna name it message.js. And while we are here, let's create another component called message input.js. So this is basically that input field that we require for writing and sending messages. So this is that. Now in our message.js, what we can do, create a function based component first of all, and then return a div with a class name of, okay, yes, then return a div with a class name of, then we'll return a div with a class name of message. But here, like, we want to give a dynamic class. What I mean by dynamic, that if the message is a sent message, then I want to add the class sent as well. If the message is a received message, then I want to add the class receive. So this is we can do on the basis of props. So we can take two props. One is text, the message itself, and one is send status. So if it is a send, then we can give a dynamic class here. So I can say message, then, so this is basically string literal I'm using, $send. Then I want to add class send, otherwise I want to add a class receive. So like if I receive this prop here, then the class that will be added is a send class. If I don't receive this prop from wherever this component is being called, then by default it is a received class. And message class will always be there because this is the core class that we'll use for styling. And similarly, in case of text, we can give first of all another div with a class name. I can give as message bubble, and here I just want to give this text which I'm taking as a prop. Now I can render this component here. So for now I'll do a static rendering. That means I'll just write how many times I want this messages, but later on we'll use a loop, and inside loop will render this component. So my very first message, remember this component take two props. Also, if you don't know what are props, like as I first mentioned at the start of the playlist that this is not a React tutorial. So I'll assume that you have some basic knowledge of React, but if you don't, let me know in the comments and I'll explain in the next video or later on what are props. So do let me know in the comments and I'll help you guys surely. So coming back to our tutorial, so this function basically takes two props, text and send. So very first props will give, let's say very first message, hey, how's it going? And then we have to give, remember this prop as well. So I'm gonna give it a send. And then we have to close this component. And similarly, if I copy paste this, and sorry about that, I can change the message and say I am good, and instead of send it is a receive. So you can remember that if the prop is send class will be added. If something different, then receive class will be added. And this text that I am returning giving as a prop, this will be rendered in this div. So this is completed. Now in our message input that we have created, what we can do is like message input will take care of later because we have to implement input change, handle events and all these things. So we'll cover that in the last. But for now, if I render this in my project, so let me just comment this down. We'll make the UI better later on. I'll just say chat area for this, and apart from chat area, I can also render sidebar as well, I guess. Yes, what we can do, sidebar as well. Sorry about that. We have to return it in a single component. So I'm gonna return them inside a React fragment. Just refresh our page and see if everything is working. So our project is basically compiling. And just forget about these warnings. These warnings are just that we have imported something on our application and we haven't used them. So React is just telling you if you're not using them, then why even bothering to import them? So that's what the warning is. We'll use these things later on. So this is our basic layout. We haven't done any CSS as of now. So we'll move on to that and we'll write some CSS and then we'll see how things changes. So to write CSS for now, we'll stick to in our src folder, we have this app.css. So inside app.css, we can remove this. This is the basic one that is written by React. So very first thing we can do is called body, and I want to give font family as Arial. Yes, and sans serif, just the Arial sans serif. Uh, then margin I want 0, then padding as well, then background color as hash for. So this is basically gray color somewhat. Now if I refresh this page, okay, let's check whether app.css is imported. Now if I refresh this page, nothing happens. So let me just change this color to red to make sure that our CSS is working. Yes, it is. So let me change back this color. Now remember, we have given a class called sidebar. So very first thing we'll do, we'll style a sidebar, this class basically. So inside sidebar, we can give flex as 1 because they will be side by side, and I'm using flex property basically. Uh, there are tons of tutorials in Google, so you can learn about all this stuff. I myself have taken these UI designs somewhere from the Google itself, from different websites. I am not that good in CSS itself, so please don't uh, ask too much about the CSS and all. However, I'll paste this link code to the GitHub, so you can directly copy paste the CSS as well. So if I give background color as 2C3E50, this is basically a light bluish color kind of thing, and I want font color as white. Then I want padding of 20 pixel, then overflow YS auto. So basically this overflow Y auto gives you a bit of a scroll bar in the screen. So that's what we need. So I've changed the screen resolution or screen orientation a bit, so you can see the changes directly happening due to our CSS. So I think it's a good idea to monitor right away what is happening. So then next thing we have our chat area. So if you remember, in our chat area, we have given this class. So we'll style this one. So remember, like in the first, we have given flex 1, then here we can give flex as 3, then display flex, then flex direction as column, save the file. Then we'll style chat header. Sorry, we want to give a background color of 3498 dB, light bluish color, to a chat background basically, and a color of white, so font color of white, then padding of 15 pixel, and then text align as center. Save this. So this is our chat basically. Now let's style our messages. So dot messages. This is flex 1, padding 20 pixel, and overflow Y as auto. Then we can style single messages. So dot messages, not messages, actually message. And we can simply give margin bottom of 15 pixel, not 150, actually 15 pixel. Then we can change this add class dot send. If the message is sent, then we'll give display as flex and justify content as flex end. So you can see this is sent message. So this is shifted to right side. Similarly, if I copy right for received, then this will also be a display flex, but justify content should be a flex start. So this is basically sticking where it was. Now we can give this message bubble class, which you remember we have given in our chat message, this message bubble. So basically, this is designing this background and somewhat border of this chat message. So what we can do is give a max width of 70 pixel or 70% actually. We don't want this chat message to be so long in width. We want it to take certain area and then line break should happen. Then we give padding of 10 pixel and then border radius of 10 pixel. Save this. Then if it is a send and message bubble, then we can give a background color of light bluish kind of thing, like just like the header, and color or font color should be white. And we can give a border bottom actually, right radius as 0. Similarly, save this. So this is the kind of border I wanted to give. So this is like most of the or traditional chat UI looks like. So I want to use this. Then similarly, if it's a received message dot message bubble, then I want to give a background color of something like grayish color. So EA. So this is kind of a gray looking color. And this time I want border bottom left radius as 0. Save this. So this is looking good and quite decent actually. Then we want to style our message input. We haven't created a message input as of now. And also I forgot something. For this sidebar bar to work, what you have to do is let me just wrap this inside a single div, and we can give a class of chat container, and then we can style this because we have to give the flex property to container as well. So chat container display as flex, then we can give height as well of 100 vh, and background color of white should work. So now this is our sidebar basically. For now, we have given a static color, but we'll change the UI later on. We'll generate a list from material UI or something like this. But for now, it's okay. And this is our chat message basically. Now I think we can move ahead and continue with our chat input as well. So let's finish up that. So let's just open our component message input, create a function based component. And here, very first thing we'll do is give a class name of message hyphen input, and then we can give a text area, then text area We can give this should work. We can give a placeholder as type your message. Second thing we can give is value. So this is basically input value. This will be a state variable. I haven't created state, but we'll do that. And on change, I'll do handle, or I'll call handle input change function. Then last thing I want to give is a button. Inside this button, I'll give a on click property, and this should be handling our send message functionality. So handle send message, and this should display send as text here. Now I want to create this state variable. What we can do is to define this const input value comma set input value equals to use state. So as I click enter, use state is already is imported here. Now the default value I want to give is this normal empty string. And second thing is we want to define this function handle input change. This will be an arrow function which take event as parameter and will set, or will use this will use our set variable and will use our state variable to set the value of input value event dot target dot value. Similarly, we'll implement this send message functionality. Same const handle send message. This will also be a arrow function. And for now, this will basically console log. Console.log message send. So our message input component is completed. Now we can, first thing we can do is style this as well. So before even styling, let's just import this. So after this div, we can say message input. Now if I open our, you can see this message input here. So this is very ugly looking as of now. So what we can do is first style this a bit. So again, let me just open these windows side by side and open our app.css file. So remember we have given class as message input. So we'll use this class, very first class, and we can give a background color of white. Then we can give a padding of 15 pixel. Then we can give a border top of 1 pixel solid and grayish looking color. So E0, E0, E0. So this is the line, if you can see here, that's appeared. Then we can give a display flex property. So because of which these button came side by side, and we can do align item center. So this should vertically center them. And then We'll use dot message input text area to style our text area basically. So we'll give flex 1, then we can give border as none, then border radius as 5 pixel, then padding of 10 pixel, and then resize as none because we don't want anyone to resize this or anything. So that's what this is used for. Now it's about how we can style our button as well. So dot message input button. We can give background color as blue color. So basically this color. Border as none. Border radius as 5 pixel. Color will be white. That means font color. Padding will be top padding will be 10 pixel. Right left will be 20 pixel. So our button is looking quite decent now. So just few things left. We want to give margin top of 10 pixel, and we want to give cursor as pointer because now for now cursor is normal, or actually it's a button, we don't need to give cursor as pointer. So I think we are good to go. Now if I open this, you can see our UI is actually looking quite decent. This is the button here. Or what one thing we can do is hide this outline as well. So in our text area, we can give outline as none. So whenever someone clicks on the input button, that black border should not appear. I personally don't like this. So I always in my input field hide them. So you can do that using outline property as none. So our chat app is looking, chat UI basically is looking quite decent. So I think most of the UI stuff is now done. Now we just need to write our consumer and get the data or get those messages here. Later on, we'll introduce some more buttons like sending images and short videos as well. But that's for later on. Let's see how far we can go. And we'll implement chat images for sure because so many of you are asking for the image, how to upload image and show them. So we'll introduce that as well for sure. And then I think we can proceed on with the deployment because as I promised, we'll deploy this on the real cloud so that all of you can test and use it and we can see the efficiency of our code as well. So that's all for this video. From the next video, we'll officially start writing consumer and all. And for now, in the next part, we'll simply list all the users here. As soon as this page loads, we'll list those user here. And also from the next part of the videos or next part of the series, I won't be spending too much time on the UI. I think it's quite time taking. I just want to make sure you understand the functionality and the core principles or algorithms that we are developing, not on the UI stuff. So I'll just like mostly I copy paste this UI from somewhere from CodePen or anything. So I'll just place the link or I'll simply paste, give this code in the GitHub. You can directly copy paste from there. Just the UI part. Rest all things will cover in the video itself. So I think that would be a better option to choose. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and do like, share, subscribe if you think that this content is genuinely helping you, and support the channel as well. And see you in the next videos. Till then, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching.